My name is Eliezer Schnall, and I'm a faculty member in the psychology department at Yeshiva University. Allow me to begin by expressing my thanks to the organizers of the Shema B'Kola Psalms for Sarah project for offering me the opportunity to discuss Tehillim Perek Kuf Zayin chapter 107 together with you. As a cousin of Sarah's Aleh HaShalom, I feel particularly appreciative to join this special program. In the schus of our Divrei Torah, may the neshama of Sarah Rivka bas Harav Nachum have an aliyah. Perek Kuf Zayin is a psalm of thanksgiving. As the first pasuk opens, Hodu Lashem ki tov, ki li'olam chazdo, give thanks to Hashem for He is good, His kindness is everlasting. Psukim Ches, Tesvav, Chaf Aleph, and Lamed Aleph underscore this theme with a similar repeated refrain, Yodu Lashem Chazdo. In fact, the Gemara in Brachos, Daf Nun Daled Amud Beis, looks to this Perek as a source for the Karban Toda, the thanksgiving offering. Arba Tzrichin Lahodos, the Gemara there says, Yordei Hayam, Holchei Midbaros, Misha Hayachola v'Nisrape, Umisha Hayachavush b'Beis Ha'asurim v'Yatza. Based on the particular themes mentioned in our Perek of Tehillim, the Gemara derives that the Toda was brought by survivors of peril, specifically of a desert voyage, incarceration, severe illness, or ocean travel. Corresponding to our Tehillim Kuf Zayin, the Karban Toda is a pure expression of gratitude to Hashem for His salvation. Such gratitude is practiced in modified form even today, in the context of the Birchas HaGomel, the blessing recited in circumstances that would have once required a karban of thanksgiving. Of course, all would agree that the theme running through our Perek in Tehillim, expression of thanksgiving, hakaras hatov to Hashem, that such expression is praiseworthy. But perhaps we might take this one step further. In highlighting gratitude, this Perek does not merely describe one admirable virtue among many, but rather may be the underlying theme of Yahadus. In other words, Kuf Zayin and the ideas inherent within this Perek lie at the foundational core of all of Judaism. For example, the Medrash in Vayikra Rabbah fascinatingly states that the Toda will be the only offering brought in the eventual Messianic age. La'asid Lavo, the Gemara says, Kol ha-karbanos b'teilin, v'karban Toda eina batel. So of all the karbanos, the only offering that will continue b'mos HaMashiach is the Toda. The Medrash highlights the central, the cardinal importance of gratitude to Hashem. Similarly, there is Mizmor L'Soda, recited in Shachris most mornings. The Mechaber of the Shulchan Aruch writes that of all Mizmorim, it will only be the song of thanksgiving that will be sung La'asid Lavo in Messianic times. Kol Hashiros Asidos Libatel, the Shulchan Aruch says, Chutz mi Mizmor L'Soda. We learn the eternal importance of Hakaras Hatov to Hashem. Actually, this directly relates to our own Perek of Tehillim, as Sforno understood Kuf Zayin to represent the eventual expression of thanks offered by those saved in the long-awaited final Geula La'asid Lavo, when we will be redeemed from our current Galus, as we then will enter the Messianic age. Furthermore, it would seem that the very names Jew and Judaism carry within them this message, that gratitude to Hashem is a foundational value. Judaism have their etymological source in the name of Yaakov's and Leah's son Yehuda, Judah, whose name in turn stems from the Hebrew root meaning thank and praise. Vatomer, Leah said in naming him, Apam Ode es Hashem, al kain kara shemo Yehuda. But Yehuda is not merely one of the many Shiftei Ka. As is explicit from the Medrash, Yehuda is the namesake of the Jewish people. The Medrash in Bereshis Rabbah teaches, Ein Adam Omer Ruvaini Ana, Shimoni Ana, Ella Yehudi Ana. Yehudi, we are Yehudim. From there we take our name. The Medrash continues that in selecting Yehuda's name as she did, Leah thereby set a precedent for her future descendants to express their own thanksgiving to Hashem. The Medrash elaborates that Leah's descendants, including David HaMelech, was known for his praise of Hashem, and the opening pasuk in our Perek of Tehillim Kuf Zayin, attributed to David, provides the classic example, Hodu Lashem Kitov, Kili Olam Chazdo. In fact, some understood our Perek of Tehillim to be directly related to a particular event in David's own life. Recall that the Plishtim had earlier captured the Aron Kodesh, the Holy Ark, and it was David who eventually returned it to its proper place. Tehillim Kuf Zayin, then, may have been David's thanks to Hashem for allowing him this success. In sum, though, Yehuda is the namesake of the Jews, and in selecting his name, Leah demonstrated her gratitude to Hashem. And we, as her biological and spiritual descendants, realize that the very identity, the very essence of being called a Jew, is about gratitude, the message conveyed in our Perek. Among the many other sources that demonstrate this thesis are the Psukim in Devarim Perek Chaf Gimel. There the Torah states, Lo yavo Amoni uMoavi b'kahal Hashem. Descendants of Ammon and Moab are never permitted to marry into the Jewish people, even if they convert, and no matter how many generations have passed. And why is this? Al devar asher lo kidmu eschem balechem uvamayim baderech b'tzeschem mimitzrayim. Because they did not offer our ancestors food and water when they left Egypt, despite the fact that their own ancestors, Lot and his daughters, were saved on multiple occasions due to Avraham. Rav Eliyahu Lapian explains that banning Ammon and Moab from our nation was not about punishing them. Rather, it's simply an issue of identity. Like we explained, the very essence of what it means to be a Jew is based on Hakaras Hatov. Those who lack this trait simply don't find their place in Klal Yisrael. In line with this thesis, many medieval Jewish thinkers as well suggest that Hakaras Hatov is the primary basic principle underlying all of the Torah's commandments. Rabbeinu Bachya ibn Pekuda, for example, in his seminal work Chovos Halavavos, maintains that gratitude to Hashem for his kindnesses is precisely what necessitates adherence to all his laws. Gratitude underlies our fulfillment of the whole Torah. Additionally, Rabbi Avram ibn Ezra writes that the Torah obligates Jews to perform more mitzvos than Gentiles because we, redeemed from slavery in Egypt, Yitzias Mitzrayim, therefore we owe a larger debt of gratitude to Hashem. Mitzvah fulfillment in general, then, is, at its root, due to gratitude. This also directly relates to today's Perek, in that the Alshich understood the thanks expressed in Tehillim Kuf Zayin as an expression of gratitude to Hashem for all his care and protection surrounding the events of Yitzias Mitzrayim, our redemption from Egypt. So we hear echoes then in our Perek, and in the Alshich's understanding of it, we hear echoes of the words of the Ibn Ezra, Hakaras Hatov, Yitzias Mitzrayim. So gratitude to Hashem should hardly be seen as one religious imperative among many, but rather as a central and underlying theme of the entire Jewish religion. Something important to keep in mind as we read today's Perek. As mentioned, Tehillim Kuf Zayin is a source text for the Todah Thanksgiving offering, and it focuses on the thankfulness of 4 classes of people: those who survived a desert voyage, severe illness, incarceration, or ocean travel. Interestingly, though, only in the case of the second He who thanks Hashem for allowing him to overcome his illness is the Karban Toda expressly mentioned. Only in that instance is the refrain Yodu Hashem Chazdo v'niflosav livnei Adam followed immediately by the words V'yizbechu zivchei tzedek with karbanos in Pasuk Chav Beis. If all four of the survivors listed in our Perek indeed bring a karban, why is it written explicitly only in the case of the sick who is healed? Explains the Radak that the other types of survivors often experience sudden salvation. The prisoner is released and at once becomes a free man. The seafarer is safe as soon as the storm ebbs. And the land traveler is saved when he finds his way out of the desert. Recuperation from illness, however, says the Radak, is typically me'at, an extended, gradual course. And as the Chola navigates this often lengthy process, he vows to bring a karban at its conclusion, that in the merit of this commitment, this neder, Hashem should complete his cure. Sarah Rivka Bas Harav Nochem Aleha HaShalom, for whom we are learning today and throughout all of these months, bravely faced just such a journey. And I'm told she did so with her signature spirit and one-of-a-kind wit and good humor that we all knew well. And like the phrase here in Pasuk Chaf, Yishlach Devaro, may Hashem send forth His word v'yirpa'im and grant strength to all others who face similar battles in her schus. And may He grant Sarah's neshama and Aliyah. Thank you all.